Jonás Trueba. Jonás, you spoke before about the fact that the film was really a film of friends, and I'm wondering, could you elaborate on that? Were these people you had worked with before on other projects, or how did the project come about?
Well, thank you so much for survive the film. Yes, the film is made it by friends, and some of them are with me here tonight. It's my first movie, and it's his first movie. Also, in many cases, in other cases, the actors and the technicians, and all the crew, and I think it's I make the movie because of them, and I'm really thank you to all these people because they are they want to do the movie more than I in some case.
Could you talk about how you developed the screenplay? Because it's a screenplay that exists in sections, and I'm wondering if there was one part you started with and then added both some to the front and some to the back of it.
Yes, when I at the beginning when I start to think in the movie, I really don't know what's the end, what kind of movie really I want to do. The right thing is that in this moment, when I start to think, it's because really I don't know what to do with my life, and I think maybe I can make a movie. Yeah, because I think cinema is for that. No, it's for to find an order for the people that make the films, and it's a great machine for discover. In my case, I love that kind of cinema, and I don't know, for example, what kind of thing exactly I want to do, but I know that I want to make a movie with some people, with some of these actors, with some of my favorite streets in my city, in Madrid. Maybe it's a love song to Madrid, the film, and I also want to make a movie with some textures, with some of my favorite books, with some of my favorite music, and I try to put all together these all things that I love, and I start to find a structure to put together all these things, and the chapters is because maybe my really influence in this movie was certain books. For example, Pío Baroja, who is one of my favorite writers, Spanish writers, and I think that because the film don't have a line, a clear narrative, and I think that kind of structure with the chapters, how do you say, me ayudaba, help me to put together, and to develop. Yeah.
So when you began filming, did you know where the film would end? Was it pretty well mapped out, or were you discovering it as you went along?
No, really I don't know. It's I discovered the ending at the end. And yeah, it's because, but I know that, for example, the music in the end, I have this music at the beginning, before all the other things. I have this music in my mind, and I always think that I really want to do a film who seems like this music, and this music and other music in the film, they are all these themes after the writing, the screenplay, and when I start to shooting the film, I have already all the music, and that's fantastic to me because I can work with the music and with the time of the music.
Lastly, what's it like to make a first film in Spain? I mean, some countries, for example, France, help first filmmakers a lot. There are a lot of programs for them. I'm wondering, how tough is it? Of course, here everyone talks about the difficulty of breaking into the business, but in Spain, what's it like for a first filmmaker?
Well, I think it's always difficult in Spain and also in France, maybe a little less. But it's really sad to talk about these things, no? Because I think we are always with problems because cinema is it's madness, no? It's like it's something very strange, and it's normally you need a lot of money. In Spain, things are difficult. Always, it's difficult to make cinema in Spain. But at the end of the travel, I forgot all these sad things. I make this movie because of my friends wants to make the movie, and they how do you say cobraron de dinero?
They invested money?
Yeah, but very little money. They are poor.
Okay, let's get some questions from all of you.
When I was in the public, I never make questions. So
that's why you make films.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. ¿Por qué tú usas la temática nada más de sexo en las relaciones como que cambia de un segundo a otro? Y yo pienso que uno no consigue un amor a la vista.
Questions about the sort of way that sex is depicted in the film, especially love, romantic sex. This viewer says that people in this film fall in and out of love very quickly. It happens, almost immediately, and in a way, he couldn't really, I guess, perhaps respond or connect to that.
I don't know, really. It's. I want to make a film so a little bit confusing about all these things, because they are always confusing for me. I don't understand nothing about sex or relationship, and then I make the movie because of that. And in particular with sex, I don't want to make a sexual film. I prefer to make a sensual film, and I have this relationship with Ramiro and Andrea, and then we put these other girls who are different possibles, different movies. Maybe I could make another movies with each one of these girls, and that's interesting for me, that to make a movie with different movies into the movie.
Otra cosa, cerrate magníficamente. Y al final lo cerrate bien.
Gracias. Thank you.
And very much like the ending of the film. Yes, Daniel?
Two side things I thought were interesting about the sociology of Spain today, and maybe you could comment. One has to do with the fact that they were living, and that he was living with his parents, and he's in his late 20s or early 30s, and I know that's a problem today because of the economic situation. A lot of people have to live with their parents. That's one thing. And the other thing that I noticed a lot was that everybody smoked in your film. And I mention that because if the film was done like recently, you're not allowed to smoke in Spain in the workplace. The uncle smoking on the job, and he's smoking in restaurants, and you're not allowed to smoke in restaurants either.
That's true. That's completely true, and that's very, very interesting for me. That's cinema. You can see this movie now and think all these things, no? And you can see the past, the recent past in Spain, and this movie is already anachronic. No? That's great. But maybe the essential thing of cinema is that, no? It's to capture moments, sensation, but also the landscapes, and maybe when I see this movie 20 years before, I can think this is where I am at this moment, no? But it's the past. Oh, yeah.
Were things like the smoking things that you put in, or they just happened on the set?
Just happened. It's because it's after the prohibition.
Yes.
Did you need to make all the men children and the women adults? And also,
That's the really that's life.
I'll repeat the question when she's finished.
and also the significance of the title, and also it seems to me, except for the uncle, mostly everyone is 20 to 30. No one is below and no one is above, except for the uncle. And the entire film is as if it's all Generation X entirely. But also I'd like to know the meaning of the title to you.
Okay, three questions. The first is, why in the film are all the men children and all the women adults? Second question, the meaning of the title. And the third question is that the whole film, except with the uncle, is all Generation Xers, that is people in their mid-20s, I guess. And it presents a kind of very particular kind of world.
The meaning of the title, for me, it's like a sensation. It's when you think, it's when the first moment in your life when you look hacia atrás, afterward. You look back, and when you think that all things reminds your problems. I could say every books are about me, or every lights, or other things, but all songs, or every songs about me is more, or in the title in Spanish is like a literally sentence that we use a lot of time, sometimes. Todas las canciones hablan de mí.
Aphorism? An aphorism?
No, it's not an aphorism, but it's like very
Expression that people use.
yeah, very useful expression. And the what?
Generation X.
The generation, yes, it's my generation. It's a strange generation for me. I think it's a bridge generation, because we are the last people who wrote letters with hands. Yeah, and then internet appears, but we are strange of that, no? Because I really like to write with my hand, but I like also internet, and it's a bridge generation, and I think it's interesting to make a movie with this scene at the end that he said, I wrote that letter, maybe I prefer to send you an email, but finally I write the letter, and this kind, for me, this is very particularly of us, because maybe we are the last one in this way, and the other.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Other questions? Yes, right there, Tom. Yes, you should. Right.
Congratulations. I found the co-worker very funny. I believe there is great potential for you to develop this guy.
Yeah.
The co-worker in the library. I believe that would be very good if you maybe.
Your next film, maybe.
With this character. Okay. He's a great
And
actor.
also maybe consider no a happy ending like this one. You know.
You think it's a happy ending?
We'll take a vote at the end and see how many people think it's a happy ending. Yes, ma'am, over here.
When Andrea writes a letter to Emilio and the contents of the letter, was that something that you wrote, or was it truly from a book? And so what?
It's from a book of Hanif Kureisi, who is a Indian English writer.
So when I wrote My Beautiful Laundrette and worked with Stephen Frears quite a bit. London Kills Me, a number of things that are available.
Yeah, and these words became from his novel Intimacy. But for example, that I improvised.
You improvise?
I improvised. I decide that word the day after the shooting, because I love this book and I have the book near than me, and the night after before the shooting, I read these words again, and it's that's the movie.
Yes, ma'am.
The mother and the grandmother were clearly out of the picture. He knew about them, and he lived in their house, but
Yeah, but I think always is interesting in films when they are this kind of characters in the
Off screen.
off screen. Yeah, it's only that reason.
Time for a couple more? Yes, ma'am. Thinks that at the end when he makes his declaration of love, that wasn't he married already?
Yeah, he's married with the other girl. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Because he married with the Argentinian. Is his friend, the Argentinian girl. He married with her because of papers and immigration papers, and I think also because of his friend, the other friend Lucas. It's a strange manner to help his friend for me, but it's very confusing, I know. But sometimes it's in life. I think these kind of things, this relationship between friends and girlfriends and ex-girlfriends are like that. But maybe my life is so confusing and your lives are more clear.
Time for a couple more? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so after making the movie, did you get any conclusion about relationships? Because after it's another final.
Not at all. No.
So it has not been a therapeutic film for you?
No, it's not been a therapeutic no. And I think it's interesting at the end that each spectator ends the movie at his own way, with his own experience, no? And you can think, for example, I really don't know what the character of Andrea thinks at that moment, and I think it's better to cut to black in this moment, cut off, and the ending is that Ramiro finally he can express all these things that he thinks. It's not very interesting things, but he needs to tell these things, to talk, and that's the end. That's all.
Yes.
Why didn't you write it as a screenplay as opposed to a book?
Why did you write it as a screenplay instead of writing it, say, as a novel?
Sorry?
Why did you write this story as a screenplay instead of perhaps turning it into a novel?
Good question. I don't know. I'm not a writer, really. I think it's more complicated to write a novel. But it's I don't know. I love films and I make films. I think I really can't make a novel. I hope, but.
Okay, one last one. Yes. Is the film available on DVD in Spain? I think.
Yeah, in Spain. Yeah, and with English subtitles. But
but the film still does not have U.S. distribution. We hope as a result of these screenings in this series that it'll find a U.S. distributor and then be released in movie theaters all over. Great. Okay, that's all they have time for. Jonás, thank you so much for the film.
Thank you.
And for coming. Thank you very much yourself.